Hello there everyone, another VAT video for you today, everyone's favourite tax. Now this particular video is all about partial exemption. So partial exemption, just as a reminder in the VAT world, is basically if you are making taxable supplies where you charge VAT either at 0%, 5% or 20%, and you are also making exempt supplies. So supplies where you don't add VAT to your invoice, to be contrasted with zero rating where you also don't add VAT, but crucially on zero rating you claim the VAT back on your expenses, but with exempt supplies you can't. So if you're a business that does a mix of taxable supplies and exempt supplies, what do you do in terms of claiming the VAT back? Well, any expenses that are directly linked to those taxable supplies, you can claim the VAT back in full, which makes sense, that's fair. Any expenses directly attributable to those exempt supplies, you can't claim any VAT back on those expenses. Again, that all seems fair. But the sort of grey area, if you will, is what about the stuff that's non-attributable? So your general overheads, if you're a business making these two types of sales, what about your accountancy fees? What about the VAT on other things that you can't attribute either to pot A or pot B? It's all kind of in the mix. It's overhead, general overheads. So the rules in the VAT world say, look, it's quite simple. You apportion it and you say, look, here's the amount of VAT, and based on the percentage of your total turnover that is VATable, the percentage that isn't, that dictates how much of the pot of the unattributable expenses you can claim back. Fairly straightforward. Now then, this particular case that I want to tell you about involves a large amount of this non-attributable pot to the tune of millions of pounds. Now specifically this is a household name. It's DFS Furniture People. Everyone's heard of DFS, and actually there was another one in this court case as well, Sofology, quite well known as well, but DFS, a huge company. And what the point at stake here was this, that DFS had spent a fortune on Google ads. Okay, so Google ads, when you put in Google furniture, DFS comes to the top or near the top because, you know, they're paying Google a lot of money to make sure that they get the click-throughs and whatever on the Google ads. So what does DFS actually do? Well, it sells sofas, of course it does, but it also sells insurance. It sells an insurance policy that's optional. When you buy the sofa, you take out an insurance policy to protect against things like spills and stains on the sofa, and you pay extra for this insurance policy if anything happens to it within so many years. So they are making two lots of supplies. So standard rated supply of sofas where they've charged 20% VAT to you as the customer, and supply of insurance. If you've opted to take that insurance, if you've chosen, there's no VAT on that. So as a company, they've got these two types of supplies. Now, HMRC said, right, of the millions that you're spending with Google on the Google ads, we think that some of that relates to the insurance, because you are selling insurance. That's not questionable that you are doing that. And some of it relates to the furniture. And basically, DFS and Sofology went to court and they said, no, hang on a minute. The Google ads, the money that we're paying Google for these Google ads, that's all to do with selling furniture. Yes, insurance is a side thing, but, you know, pretty much the core of our business, all about shifting units, furniture, and the Google ads. There is a direct and immediate link on that spend and the VAT that Google charges on the advertising expenditure. There's a direct link between that spend and the selling of our furniture. Forget insurance. People don't Google DFS insurance. It's all about the furniture. Yes, we do insurance, but that's not what the Google ads are about. And what happened was, in the tribunal, that the tribunal sided with the taxpayer and HMRC lost and DFS won. So they were able to recover all of the VAT back on Google's costs. So when Google invoiced them for all that advertising expenditure, probably ran into millions of pounds. I've no idea what the figure was, but it'll be a lot of money. All the VAT that DFS incurred on Google's invoices for all the Google AdWords, that was all claimable back because it was directly and attributable to the taxable supplies, not the insurance. So that's the crucial thing in the VAT world. It's this line here, direct and immediate link. So yes, there was, causal effect that there was going to be some more insurance policies sold on the back of the fact someone's put in the Google ad, found their way to DFS, and then decided to get some insurance. But there's no direct and immediate link on expending the Google AdWords, the advertising expenditure, and providing those insurance policies. It's all direct and immediate link to the provision, the sale of furniture. So an interesting case there, because obviously from HMRC's point of view, they'd want that ruling not to apply. They'd want some of the input VAT to be not recoverable because there's less for them to pay out on the input VAT. But no, the tribunal said, look, here's the facts. People go on, they Google where's the nearest DFS store with one view in mind, it's buying furniture. That insurance bit is just a separate add-on, that point of sale, extra and upsell by the company at the point of buying the furniture. So interesting there, and this partial exemption, of course, happens in all sorts of industries where you've got, like I said, both taxable and exempt supplies, and you have to attribute the pot thereon. And there's the various ways to do it. You don't just do it necessarily on the turnover ratio, but you can do it on floor space or all sorts of things. So, but it's a whole minefield of how you would actually apportion, other than just going on the relative turnover. But just something to think about there. If you are in that situation where you're making both VATable and exempt supplies, how much input VAT can you claim back on various overheads? So, if you like this video, please do subscribe, and as always, I'll see you soon.